The US President Donald Trump is facing mounting questions over his motives for sacking the FBI Director James Comey. Originally, the White House circulated a memo suggesting the president had acted on the advice of the Deputy Attorney General, citing Mr. Comey's conduct over an investigation into Hillary Clinton. Now the president has told NBC television the decision was his alone, and US media reports suggest he may have made his decision after a dinner with the FBI boss in January. Ann Barker reports.
Donald Trump has told NBC News he would have sacked James Comey anyway, regardless of the recommendation he received in a letter this week from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander. The FBI has been in turmoil. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that.
President Trump also told NBC host Lester Holt the FBI boss had told him 3 times he wasn't under investigation for possible collusion with Russia in the lead-up to last year's election.
Let me ask you about your termination letter to Mr. Comey. You write, "I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation." Why did you put that in there?
Because he told me that. I mean, he told me that.
He told you weren't under investigation with
and
regard to the Russia investigation?
I've heard that from others.
Asked when and where he was told, the president said,
I had a dinner with him. He wanted to have dinner because he wanted to stay on. We had a very nice dinner at the White House very early on. A dinner was arranged. I think he asked for the dinner. And he wanted to stay on as the FBI head. And I said, I'll consider. We'll see what happens. But we had a very nice dinner. And at that time, he told me, you are not under investigation, which I knew anyway.
Reporters in Washington have questioned Donald Trump's comments at a briefing from White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Isn't it inappropriate for the President of the United States to ask the FBI director directly if he is under investigation?
No, I don't believe it is.
One of these conversations, the President said, happened at a dinner where the FBI director, according to the President, was asking to stay on as FBI director. Don't you see how that's a conflict of interest? The FBI director is saying he wants to keep his job, and the President is asking whether or not he is under investigation?
I don't see that as a conflict of interest.
Democrats, too, are now questioning whether it was right for James Comey to tell the President he was not under investigation. Senator Ron Wyden put the question to the FBI's acting director, Andrew McCabe, who's gone before the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Would it have been wrong for the director to inform him he was not under investigation? It's a yes or no.
Sir, I'm not going to comment on any conversations that the director may have had.
I didn't ask that. Would it have been wrong for the director to inform him he was not under investigation? That's not about conversations. That's a yes or no answer.
As you know, Senator, we typically do not answer that question.
And Senator Wyden told the hearing it's a fact that Donald Trump encouraged the Russians to attack U.S. democracy.
I fear some colleagues have forgotten that Donald Trump urged the Russians to hack his opponents. He also said repeatedly that he loved WikiLeaks. So the question is not whether Donald Trump actively encouraged the Russians and WikiLeaks to attack our democracy. He did. That is an established fact. The only question is whether he or someone associated with him coordinated with the Russians.
Mr. McCabe says James Comey's sacking won't impede the FBI's own investigation into the Russia allegations, and he's rejected suggestions Mr. Comey had lost the confidence of FBI staff.
The vast majority of FBI employees enjoyed a deep and positive connection to Director Comey.
Mr. McCabe also pledged to inform the Senate committee of any attempt to interfere in the FBI inquiry.
Ann Barker reporting.